All right, hello everyone. Let me make sure that my camera's working okay. Uh, hello. Hold on. Wrong way. Hello everyone. I'm not sure if anybody can message just to make sure you can hear me okay. Actually, let me close this door. Just give me 1 second. Let me check if this is working. Yeah, if you can type a one, hello, what city you're in, just so I can see that the message board is okay. So that way you could ask questions through the message board. And also let me know if you can hear me okay. The audio is all good. Let's see. We'll probably give people about 2 more minutes just to filter in. Welcome for those that are early. My name is Ryan Knight. I'm glad to walk you through a few of the grants that I've been able to get and also ones that are currently available. And hopefully, us at the Afro Caribbean Business Network can help you get some grants that you're looking at. It doesn't matter if you're for profit, nonprofit, there are grants that you can get for your business. And there are also programs that help you really fine tune your business idea so that your grants will be a lot more effective. All right. I'm not seeing messages coming through. I'm wondering if the message board is working. Hold on, chat. Yeah, can somebody type in the message in the chat box? It might be in the right hand side. Just let me know that it's working because I wanted to use the chat box so that you can ask questions. Let me see if anybody's texting me that they can't get in. All right. Any question? Okay, I see that they're coming in the question section. All right, perfect. All right, so we can get started. And to let you know a little bit about myself, my name is Ryan Knight, and I'm the founder of a company called Detailing Knights. So for those of you that don't know, we provide mobile waterless car cleaning. So we go to people's houses and clean their cars on the spot without using any water. And over the last 10 years, we've been able to get various grants, also different microloans, but this webinar is focused mainly on the grants that I was able to get. The company is for profit. We consider ourselves a social enterprise. We're one of the first auto detailing companies in the world to be certified as a B Corporation, so we're pretty proud about that. And now I'm the co-founder of the Afro Caribbean Business Network. So we're working with business owners in the African and Caribbean community to really sit down with them one-on-one to figure out what stage they're in right now and then help them get to the next level, whether that be access to resources, help writing grants, or just holding business owners accountable, making sure that every month there's a check-in. We also do monthly events. We do open workshops, business building workshops, a mastermind. Really plug into the mastermind. I'll send more details about that after. But just to yeah, the questions are coming through. So you can ask questions and I'll try and answer them as I go along. But quick agenda. So I'm gonna do a walkthrough of the different grants that I've been able to get this year. And also, so that included the Starter Company, Digital Main Street, City of Brampton, and the Ontario Trillium Foundation. Overview of current grants that are available, and also the next steps. So really As I'm going through, figure out which grants you feel like would apply to you, and then please reach out to me and we can sit down and figure out how ACBN or myself can help you apply for those grants. So what I'm gonna do is share my screen and then walk through the different types of grants that are currently available. Hold on. Share screen. All right, so if you're not seeing my screen, please let me know. That can be put away. Is my face in the way if it's here? Can you see my screen? Is that better? Okay, good. Hold on. Test. So really quickly, I was able to obtain, sorry, not Summer Company. Summer Company I had gotten a while ago, but it was called Starter Company, and I don't think it's on their website right now. But Starter Company was done through each of the City of Brampton, well, each of the small business enterprise centers. So City of Brampton, Toronto had done it, and we were able to get companies to go through both, so in Toronto and in Brampton, and that was up to $5,000 for your businesses. Also, we were able to get the digital Main Street. So let me put this one in. All right. So digital Main Street was a grant of $2,500. Sorry. Let me turn this off. Sorry. All right. So yeah, digital Main Street, you're able to get up to $2,500, and it was really to help you with online marketing. So it would walk you through. Actually, I can sign in. Just make this small for a sec. I'll log into my account so that you can see what it walked you through, and then also so what it would do is take you through a series of videos, and the videos would teach you different marketing strategies. So that ranged from like email marketing, training videos, email marketing, building your website, doing SEO, Google Ads. So you can see them on the side here where my cursor is. So social media, email marketing, content marketing. And then after going through all the videos, you would create your own digital transformation plan. And that plan is what now you would get the funding to execute. So if you said you wanted to redo your website, you wanted to hire a Google Ads management company to help you get started with paid ads, you'd put that into your plan, and then you'd get $2,500 to help with that. Now, I do know they're getting a bit more strict with the company having to be bricks and mortar, but we do have a meeting with them coming up this week where we're talking about companies that are in co-working spaces. And I mentioned that because we started a co-working space here in Brampton, so we want people to be able to get a professional business address and then also be able to apply for these grants. Because in the criteria, it says that you have to be paying commercial property tax either directly or indirectly. So I was able to get it because we have a location in Toronto and we're paying rent. So indirectly, we're paying commercial property tax. We didn't have to take pictures of the location and it be in a main street or downtown area. So I feel like they clamped down on that criteria. So I'd love to find out if we can work around that and ACBN can help you apply for this grant. So the other one, the community investment program, we were able to get money for this, but this was in collaboration with another nonprofit. So they are doing upcoming sessions that talk about how to apply for it. This is through the Region Appeal, sorry. So the Region Appeal, and we also got a grant through the City of Brampton. So if you're interested in getting municipal grants, please reach out to me. I'll show you the exact process that I went through and even what I applied with. I can share that so you can use it as a template to then do your own grants and also introduce you to other organizations that you can collaborate with because this one you have to be in partnership with a nonprofit. And the last one that we were able to get was, what is OTF? All right, so the Ontario Trillium Foundation. So we were able to get $240,000 from the Ontario Trillium Fund through their Youth Opportunities Fund. And the way that we were able to get funded is not directly through a for-profit company. What we did is while we were running our company, we realized the work that we were doing with youth could be its own standalone thing. So we took that concept, everything that we had developed, and turned it into its own grassroots organization. And that grassroots organization then applied for this grant with Ontario Trillium Fund. And now that runs as its own separate entity. And our company is separate from, they're not a nonprofit yet, but like the grassroots organization. But what you should start to document is things that you're doing in your company that are benefiting the community. Make sure to iron out like the whole procedures, policies, everything that goes into what you're delivering, aside from the revenue aspect of it, just what you could deliver as a program. And then that program can be funded through something like the Ontario Trillium Foundation. So that is a rundown of the 4 grants that I was able to get this year. So Starter Company, Digital Main Street. So Starter Company was $5,000, Digital Main Street was $3,000. The City of Brampton, we were able to get $2,500. And OTF, we got $80,000 over 3 years, so $240,000 in total. And if there is any questions, please, you can type them in. I don't want to go too fast. If I'm going too fast, please let me know. But I'm going to walk through. There are about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, about 12 grant opportunities available right now. So I'm going to walk through them, and then let me know if you have any additional questions. Just type in and let me know where to stop. So the first one is the Canada Export Grant. And I wanted to start with this one because I want everyone to understand that we need to start thinking outside of just doing business in Toronto, just doing business in Ontario. We need to start thinking about doing business in the US, overseas, what have you. And the Afro-Caribbean Business Network is trying to work with companies to get them to do more business in the Caribbean and also in Africa. Now, to do that, the Canada Export Grant will offset anything that you're going to spend to do your research in new countries. So we were doing a trade show in New York. So the trade show in New York, the Canada Export is able to pay for half of the expenses of doing the trade show. And I believe the trade show came up to about $12,000, and we were able to get 50% of that covered. And I'm seeing on their website that they're increasing it to 75%. So if you're thinking about what you can do, what you're doing right now can be done in, let's say, the US, and you can go as close as Buffalo. That's where we kind of started with. It's an hour-and-a-half drive. Start thinking about how you can sell your products in other countries, and then using this grant to now offset those research and development costs. Right? And then so beyond the Canada Export Grant, there's also the EDC. So sorry, what do they stand for? Economic Development Canada. I'll find what that stands for. But the EDC.ca, if you check it out, so they do something quite interesting. So if you're thinking about exporting into other countries, they will actually develop a relationship with the company that's going to buy from you and pay your invoice ahead of time. So let's say you're selling goods, somebody's going to buy, you have a purchase order for $50,000. EDC will pay you the $50,000, and then they will chase the company that you're doing business with for the repayment of the money. So it's really a way to reduce the risk, and they talk about managing risk here. So you're able to get your money up front, ship the goods, and if there's an issue with collecting payment, EDC deals with that headache. So that's something when I found out, we totally shifted how we did business with the US and people overseas, because initially we would have, like, if we shipped our products and people were detailing or buying our products overseas, it was, if they didn't pay, it was too much of a hassle for us to really go after them. So now we're able to work with EDC and they pay us directly, and anything that we ship over, if they pay EDC, everything's fine. If not, the headache isn't on myself to be figuring out how to get this money from Europe or wherever. So those two grants I wanted to touch on just because to expand our thoughts on not only doing business here in Ontario, but starting to think about doing it overseas. And I don't remember the exact limits. I'm pretty sure they go up to they can go up to millions of dollars, but we've only been in the $50,000 to $100,000 range. So yeah, please think about this opportunity. It's a great way to expand your business with as little risk as possible. So to switch over to because those are kind of federal level, the Ontario level, one great one is the Ontario Centers of Excellence. So we were able to apply for a $30,000 grant, and this grant actually helped to cover your salary that you would be paying yourself to develop your company or your concept. So it's usually focused on technology, but if you're shifting your current company to be more technologically inclined, then this is a grant that you might be able to apply for. It's great to connect with different incubator programs. So York University has the Launch You program, and Sheridan College has the Edge Entrepreneurship Discovery and Growth Engine. So I can connect you to either of those, whichever is closer for you, and then they're able to walk you through the process of applying for an OCE grant better than I could, but I can definitely make that connection for you. And the great thing is it does cover your salary. So a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we're grinding and not really paying ourselves. So if you're working on something interesting and new or trying to add a technology to your company, look into this grant and it can help cover that cost of your actual labor. All right. I want to see, I believe it's the Smart Start program here as well. Yep, the Smart Start Seed Fund. All right, and to continue, so as I was talking about before, fund. So the Ontario Trillium Foundation, this one is more geared to like nonprofits, but what I was saying is like if you're a for-profit, figure out that community work that you're doing so that you can now pull that out of your company and create a grassroots organization out of it. And also looking to partner with trustee organizations. So at Afro-Caribbean Business Network, we can connect you with other nonprofits that match what your company does for the community. And then we can now form that relationship so you can work under them so that you're able to get these bigger grants. Like I said, ours was for $240,000. So if you're looking at doing like amplifying your impact, this is a great route. And the one, I apologize, it's small. So we were focusing on the supporting the positive development of children and youth and focusing on entrepreneurship and figuring out a safe space for youth to work on their entrepreneurship ideas. So there's 5 different streams. So you can see if your current company matches any of these objectives, and then we can work with you to develop that grassroots organization to now apply for one of these granting streams. So I just want to make sure I'm not missing any. Yep, somebody was asking, can I make this bigger? All right. Somebody was asking, is the ADC only for products? Yes, I believe the EDC is for products only because there is a physical thing that you'd have to ship. For services, I don't believe it would work. Somebody's saying they're not seeing me. I'll reach out. And the salary covering the grant, is that for Smart Seed? Yes. So the OCE grant option or program that they run is a Smart Seed, and that one covers the grant. Okay. Cool. Put this back. All right. Any other questions just yet about like working with nonprofits to create a subsidiary of what you're already doing? I'd love to go deeper into that one-on-one because everyone kind of has a different stage of their company that they're in. But please reach out to me if you have more questions about that one. Now, one that the gentleman Kevin Yard, the Ontario and MPP here in Brampton North, he mentioned about the region of Peel and the different programs that they have. Where is the list? I'm looking for the list of all the programs. Let's see if it's here. Because they had about sorry, I think I pulled up the wrong page, but they're on, there's like a sustainability fund, a collaboration fund, and there was about 6 different grants. And I had no idea about it. So I think it's this one. No. I'm going to create the email that I create. I'm going to send the actual breakdown of all the different grants that the Region of Peel has. There's about 6, so you can see which ones match what you're working on, and then it is for nonprofits. So again, partnering up with a local nonprofit. I know the United Achievers Community Services, they're great at those collaboration grants, and we're actually working together on one as well. So if you're a for-profit company, you can still collaborate with a nonprofit and be able to execute these types of funds to amplify what you're doing, and also that amplifies what the other nonprofit organization is doing. And I will find out from Edge. I'm seeing when it's opening up again. Edge in York, they always let me know when it opens up again. And a lot of times they can introduce you to representatives from OCE ahead of time so that you can start building that relationship and not have to wait for the actual grant stream to open up. You want to be talking to them ahead of time. So remind me to introduce you. If you're interested in that grant, please reach out to me. Now, 2 organizations that I wanted to touch on, and this is for better suited for for-profit companies, and especially those that would consider themselves social enterprises. So the Toronto Enterprise Fund, they do workshops and also offer grants to social enterprise companies, especially if you're employing from a specific marginalized group. So they have 2 grants that I've gone through. So the Catalyzing Grant. So the Catalyzing Grant, it's interesting because you get up to $10,000 to initially do your research about this social enterprise or employment social enterprise that you want to create, and then you get up to $50,000 to actually execute the idea. The drawback is they'll accept about 25 people to go through, I guess, the workshop. There's about 4 workshops. You work on your social enterprise, and at the end of it, they pick 3. They pick 3 out of a competition-based pitch competition. So it's tough to be going through a grant process and then there's only 3 available. So hopefully they'll open that up a bit, but it is a great way to flush out your idea, learn how to do your cash flows and including social costs into it. And then at the end of it, being able to pitch your idea. Even if you don't get selected, you now have this package of what your social enterprise looks like, who you're trying to serve, how do you make money, how's it going to grow, how's it going to become sustainable. And really now you can go through those other granting streams with your template. You're not always starting from scratch when you're approaching other granting opportunities. And an even better organization, I would say, is Innoweave. So Innoweave takes you through these modules that help you really fine tune your social enterprise concept. And at the end of it, they have a grant that's available to you. I don't remember the exact amount. I think it's based on the answers that you give as you're going through the modules, and it determines like what you need. And then they have a granting pool of funds to now give you that money that you need. And so what they've done is they've coached you right along the way, making sure that your idea is feasible, sustainable, it's bringing a lot of value to the community, and now at the end of it, you would get the funds to execute. So out of all of the things that I've gone through, I would start with Innoweave, because Innoweave is going to ask you those deeper questions. And it's a for-profit company. You don't have to be nonprofit. It's a for-profit company that is doing more good. I would say like those social enterprise concepts, the triple bottom line. You're still making money, but you're doing better for the environment and the community. And now you're going to get a really great business plan out of going through their process. And at the end of it, get funding for your idea. And we try to replicate what they do, but to get you started. So ACBN will sit down with you, start to flush out what your idea is, and then connect you into a more robust program like Innoweave so that you're able to get a grant at the end of it. Let me just check questions, make sure I'm not leaving anybody. And so, sorry, to reach out to me directly, I will send an email with my info. If you want to take down my email right now, actually, can I type it here? It's Ryan.Knight, ACBN Canada. And also, I'll put my number there too. Send it on. So it is better to text me than call. If you call, it's hit or miss. But if you text me, just let me know a time that we can chat. We can call. Hold on. Let me make sure I'm not forgetting anybody. Woodney saying can't see. Sorry about that. Also, any grants for women? There are federal grants. I haven't done as much research into the women-specific grants. I know they just released about $25 million for women entrepreneurship initiatives. I will check into that and send you, because I know the last time I saw them open it, the deadline had passed. So if it's opening again, I will send you information about that. So the answer is yes. I will check it back to you. I'll let everybody see that. Other questions? So yes, my email is there, my phone number is there. Please keep me on your speed dial if you have questions about any of the grants that you're going through. And also, I'll add you to our mailing list so that as I'm finding more grants, I'm always trying to look for different ways to fund ACBN and Detailing Nights. I'll keep sending out info so that you're up to date. When is OCE opening? All right, cool. So again, and there's also one more that I forgot to put up here. Alternative providers. So Natalie's asking specific grants for service providers. I would say this is where you'd want to take that service that you're providing. If it has a benefit to the community, now let's partner it with, or it's easier to create a grassroots organization out of it to apply for Ontario Trillium Fund through the Youth Opportunities Fund, and then also partnering with a nonprofit that has a similar mandate. So if you guys align, you're able to now collaborate and go for bigger funding. Actually, did you want to say what specific service you offer? And then I can kind of think about it. But even when you can reach out to me, we can sit down and figure out what is it that you offer, and then how can it align with one of the grants that are available or collaborating with one of the nonprofits. Yes, so I do have this list in an Excel, and it also includes other funding like microloans, investors, angel list type stuff. So I'll include it all in it. And next week, we're actually be talking about how to prepare yourself to approach banks. So that's more about financing with traditional loans, microloans that Alterna Savings has, and different ways to approach investors. So next Friday, same time, 10 a.m., I'll send out the link for that one. That I find is the faster path to raising money. Granting takes a lot of time. There's a lot more of a learning curve. But if you prepare your company right and approach a bank, like DK, we got 30K just by presenting a proper business plan and getting that assistance from, I forget his name, that was like 2013. But a gentleman coached me, Howard, his name's Howard. So he helped me structure the right way to approach a bank. And now we have somebody on board, Dio, that is going to be working with ACBN to run workshops and teach us how to be properly prepared to approach the banks. And that's actually happening on the 17th and the 23rd. So one on the weekend, one on during the day or during the week in the evening. So I'll send out information for that as well. I feel like there's a lot of ways to raise money, and we're going to slowly figure out how to get money in your pocket. Like as we develop resources, we're going to get it to you. All right, let's see questions. So yes, I will send out the email with this list. And so sorry, that's busy asking, looking for grants that will support a private business that offers wellness services such as yoga, mental health, wellness, empowering women of color. Again, I would say those services can provide a really great value to the community. Pull out exactly how you're going to help the community, and that itself can be a grassroots initiative. And now you can approach OTF or the Youth Opportunities Fund in collaboration with another nonprofit. Even with ACBN, we're doing work with entrepreneurs, but we can insert mindfulness with your yoga, mental health, wellness, and empowering women that are in the network, and then create that into its own package that we can now go out for funding and finding grants through OTF or even the region of Peel. That's where, one, your private business is going to operate like normal, and then two, you're going to have this grassroots kind of community give back that it would also be funded. So I never want people to think only go for grants. Still make sure that that business is sustainable and making money on its own, and then all the grants that you get really add to what you're already doing. So you're not as stressed trying to do all this work for the community, and really you're taking the money that you're earning from the regular business to fund trying to do a lot of good work in the community. And a lot of times you'll find that you can't do either well while you're trying to do both well. So keep the business running, make sure you understand how you're helping, use that procedure that you're doing to work with people in the community as its own entity, and that separate grassroots give back to the community is what you approach for funding. Because if you go for funding to the bigger players like Ontario Trillium Fund with just a for-profit idea, like your service that you're offering, it will never get funded. Like it's in their criteria that they don't fund for-profit companies, period. So pull out the good, turn that into its own grassroots initiative, and then go forward, find people in the community that align with it, and create that robust granting proposal, and now you'd have both. And so Robert's asking, if you don't live in Peel, but can work with an organization in Peel, can you apply for grants in that area? The answer is yes. So even if you're working with the Afro-Caribbean Business Network, we're based in Peel, we would then be the lead on the granting application, and we would collaborate in the execution. United Achievers, same thing. If you were to collaborate with them, they would be the lead on the application so that the home address is in Peel, but then you guys are working together, and through the budget items, you make sure that everybody gets paid for what they're executing. But now, yes, you're able to apply in Peel by collaborating with an organization in Peel. So yes. Cool. So like I said, next steps, So I'm hoping that you took notes on which types of grants might apply to you right now. Please send me an email or text me. I'll reach back out. I'll also be sending a follow-up email to let you guys know, one, what we went through all today, what's coming up. If you did want a one-on-one, I'd love to schedule that with you, and hopefully you'll become a member of the Afro-Caribbean Business Network, and also come to check out our new space. It's the Empowered for Excellence Center, so you can come and check it out if you're trying to get out of your basement. And that's another big thing. As we're looking for grants, they want to see a lot of professionalism. So they don't want like home-based businesses a lot of times. So if we can provide you that professional office address and even a place to work out of and do your meetings, that will help you in your grant process. The grant that I got with OTF, I'm willing to share it. Just ask me and see how you can use the template. That's the one that we got $240,000 for. If you can use the structure and especially how we budgeted it and did our project plan, I'm willing to share that so that it can help you with your grant application. ACB and ourselves, we're willing to sit down with you and work through a little bit of your research, but figuring out the best way to approach these grants. If you did need help writing it, you would have to be one of the paid members because that does take more time. But just the initial consultation and assistance with it, I'm totally open to helping. And please, yeah, again, you have my email. Oh, sorry, a question came in asking. Oh, so let me answer this quick one. So we are at 12 Rutherford Road South, and then we are in building 16 that is in the back of the parking lot. And suites 203 and 205. So we actually have two rooms. So one is with the regular co-working, so that's private offices, dedicated desks in the open co-working area, and hot desks that you can get just on a regular, oops, send that. So you can drop in and use them. We also have an events room. So if there are, and I know, is it busy? Yeah, so this is a space that you can actually run your workshops out of, and we're looking to collaborate with more service providers, include more mindfulness and stuff like you. We'll probably have to drop some mats down to do yoga, but this is a place that now is available to the community to use for any events that you want to do yourself. And so during the week, it'll be open from 9 to 7, either 10 to 7 or 9 to 7, I'll confirm that. And on the weekends, if you have a dedicated desk or a dedicated office, you get 24/7 access all 7 days. So church group for the grant lead, that is a great question. And I was gonna go and approach my own church. I'm at Christ Church downtown Brampton to see, because they're technically a nonprofit, but I know they're in kind of a different category. But I'll have to look into to see, one, if churches are interested in that, and two, I'll check with the granting bodies to see how churches approach or do their proposals. I'm not sure if they can have, I would assume that they can collaborate with other entities to put together a proposal, but I haven't seen it in person yet, so I'll check for that. All right. So yeah, unless if there's any more questions, we can wrap up. Like I said, next steps, find out which topics or which types of grants match what you're looking for. Send me an email. We'll reach out and figure out how to collaborate and get yours done. And then other than that, I look forward to seeing you next Friday. And so production companies, are you talking about like video production? Because there is, oh man, let me see if I can pull it up. So Ontario creates for acting. I've only witnessed other entities approach Ontario Creates to get grants for their organization, one gentleman that we're working for, he's creating videos that are interactive and going to train entrepreneurs on how to go through kind of to stop from being stuck. So each video is going to be kind of a training tool for entrepreneurs to use. And he applied for a grant through Ontario Creates. It did look pretty hefty, like it's a big learning curve. I could probably reach out to him and have him do a workshop for those in the creative fields, that because that's for like creating film productions or interactive learning. So with acting, I would say the acting would be part of a bigger package. So if you're part of like with a director that's creating a body of work, you'd be able to put together a package to approach Ontario Creates and then work on one of their grants. Because I haven't navigated there. So yeah, film production, look at Ontario Creates. Like I said, I only observed like over his shoulder as he was doing the grant, but he's been doing these grants for I think 9+ years. So I can definitely pull him in. If there are a few people that are interested in producing either short film, an interactive video series, it says magazine up here, music. So we can probably pull him into a workshop and then have him walk us through this type of grants. So send me an email to remind me, Erica and Isokin. Cool, cool. My pleasure. And Michelle, nonprofit number. So a nonprofit number is like standard incorporation, but if you incorporate it yourself, you're gonna save a lot of money. There's nothing really special that lawyers or accountants do for a nonprofit if you're not going after charity status yet. I would say just start with the standard incorporation. I believe it'd be about $240, and then the name search will be extra. What is your name search in nonprofit? It might be about $200 to $300. If you go through an accountant, it'll be $800 plus. And like I said, I don't feel like they do anything special. It's more just getting your board of directors, getting them to sign off, and going to submit the paperwork downtown. All right, I want to make sure I didn't miss anybody. So Michelle, I would say the nonprofit number is like the standard criteria. So you have to be incorporated, but with OTF, you have to be an incorporated nonprofit, but you need 2 years of audited financials and be in their system, like register in their system. But with the Youth Opportunities Fund, you just need to be a grassroots organization. So you don't need a nonprofit number to do an application for the YOF grant. And that's the one that we got, the 240,000. So we didn't need a nonprofit number in order to apply for that grant. Cool, cool. I don't know if I missed any questions. I think I got them all. If I did miss something, please just text me, email me. I will reach out to you. And if it's something that I feel like everybody can learn from, I'll include it in the email that I'm creating right now and then send it out to everybody. All right. So yeah, so you'll get the invitation to next week's webinar. Again, we'll try to do them always Friday at 10 o'clock. And let's get you some money. Thank you so much for your attention. And again, if you have any more questions, please send a message to me direct. Otherwise, we'll talk soon. Thank you again.